From a Pawn to a King, Part 1. The Clock Don't Stop. They say if you're smart enough, you can make it out. But nobody tells you what out really means. Out the hood, out the cycle, or just out your damn mind trying to survive it. 14-year-old Malik Carter didn't have those answers yet. But he knew time was running. The apartment was quiet, except for the hum of a beat-up box fan in the window. The kind that made more noise than it moved air. Malik walked softly across the cracked tile floor, careful not to wake his mother. She had passed out on the couch again, still in her scrubs, name badge crooked, fingers curled around a half-eaten container of lo mein. A flickering TV bathed the room in a cold blue light. Malik reached for the remote, paused, then left it. The silence between them had become a kind of language, one he understood too well. He slipped into his room, where an open pre-algebra book lay flat on his bed, like a lie he didn't feel like telling tonight. The room was small, walls peeling, closet door missing, and smelled like old textbooks and cheap candles. On his dresser sat a photo, edges worn, showing a younger Malik in a denim jacket sitting on the lap of a man in a faded orange jumpsuit, his father. Malik stared at it for a moment, then slowly opened the envelope he'd been avoiding for 3 days. Eviction notice, due in 10 days. Red lettering like blood across the page. He swallowed hard and folded it back with shaky hands, sliding it under a stack of schoolwork. Like hiding it made it less real. The next morning, school came and went like it always did. Teachers droned, kids joked, but Malik was on autopilot. Lunchtime found him alone, tucked behind the gym where he set up his foldable chessboard on a lunch bench. He loved chess because it made sense. Rules, strategy, consequences. A soft breeze moved his hoodie string as he studied the board. He was mid-game against himself when Dre came around the corner, flanked by 2 other kids from class. They laughed loud, eating chips, sneakers dragging across the pavement. "Yo, Malik," Dre said, smirking. "Why you always out here talking to yourself over some fake little war game?" Malik didn't look up. "Chess ain't a game," he said. "It's survival with rules." The words hung in the air longer than anyone expected. Dre tilted his head, unsure whether he'd just been insulted or taught something. He laughed it off, but Malik could feel the heat of his stare as they walked away. Later that evening, Malik took the long way home. Not because he liked walking, but because every minute he spent outside was a minute not spent in a house full of silence and overdue bills. The corner store was buzzing. Neon lights, loud music, cigarette smoke, and posted out front, leaned back against a blacked-out Impala, was Uncle Jers. Jers wasn't blood, not exactly. He was Malik's dad's old running mate, the kind of man who never seemed broke, but never seemed free either. Gold tooth, fresh cut, hoodie clean, like it came with a tag still on it. "Lick," Jers called out, grinning. "Ain't seen you in a minute, boy genius. Still out here playing that little mind game?" "Still beats playing with my life," Malik replied without stopping. But Jers stepped in front of him, hand resting lightly on Malik's shoulder. "I like that fire. You think that brain gon' keep the lights on, though?" Malik didn't respond. He didn't have to. Jers pulled out a folded 20 and tucked it in Malik's hoodie pocket. "Ain't no shame in help, nephew. Just remember who really looking out when push come to shove." Malik didn't even go upstairs when he got home. He sat on the front stoop, hands in his hoodie, thinking about nothing and everything. The streetlights buzzed above him. Somewhere down the block, someone was blasting old DMX. His mother's silhouette appeared in the living room window, pacing. A shadow holding papers, probably the notice, probably doing that math she always whispered about when she thought he couldn't hear. He pulled the 20 out and stared at it. Too much for candy. Too little to save anything. He folded it once, then again, and tucked it back into his hoodie. He remembered the last time he saw his father. Rikers. Malik had been 9. Sitting in a cold gray booth across from a man who looked 10 years older than the photo on his dresser. "You ain't gotta be like me," his father had said through the glass. "But don't be soft neither. The world don't care you smart, only that you make it. The phone clicked before Malik could reply. Now, sitting on those stairs, Malik looked out across the street. Jers's car was still there, engine humming low, like it was waiting, like it always would be. His mom hadn't turned on the lights inside, and for the first time, he noticed how quiet the apartment had become. Not peaceful, just tired. He stood up slow, looking between the Impala and his front door. I used to think time was my friend, he thought. But in the hood, the clock don't stop. You either move or get moved. He walked forward, not fast, not slow, just steady. Somewhere between a boy with potential and a man with a decision to make.